So in regards to, we've talked about, you know, advice or words of wisdom that have been helpful for you. What about some advice that wasn't so helpful for you? Because that's, again, the Chiron conjuncting your Mercury. So that can be the negative manifestation of that energy. There can be advice that has not been very helpful for you. And what did you learn from it? Because it's that placement's in the ninth house of learning. What did you learn from the not so great advice that you've been given?
I think primarily I believe that most parenting advice comes from a good place.
Mm-hmm.
But I've also learned that some people don't realize that parenting isn't a one size fits all kind of garment.
Yep.
The worst advice for me came when I was a first time mum, because I think at that stage I lacked a lot of confidence in my ability. And um, I kind of let other people's words affect me more than I would have if had I been a more established mother. So
Yeah.
one of the examples that I can think of is someone said to me, they actually used the word cruel, because I didn't have my baby's singlet tucked into her leggings. I know. And her shirt was
Wow.
riding up, you know.
Oh,
She would
wow. And
she
that's
would have been about
cruel?
she would have been about 6 months old at the time. Apparently my baby would get cold. Um And the thing is, if I thought my baby was cold, I would have put a jumper on her or
Of
done something
course.
like that. But I just remember feeling like, oh my gosh, am I a cruel mother? Like, what have I done?
Mm.
I was mortified. And then another time I remember someone saying to me that, because I had a very strict, and this is just how I like to do it. I had a very
Mhm.
strict feeding nap time routine. They were like, how can you let your baby run your life like that? Like, can't you just come out when you like? And yeah, I could have, but that's not how I liked to do things. For me, structure and organization is a really big part of my life and it makes me feel comfortable.
I was just gonna say that you've got Capricorn in the part of your chart that talks about daily routines. Your daily routine does need to be structured. That's what brings you comfort in your life. So I'm not at all surprised that you've had, structure in your children's lives because that's how you essentially run things. That's what works for you. And I think structure is a really good thing in, personally, I think it's very, very useful. I'm very structured as well. I'm all for it. And it's interesting, these other people making these comments, it's their issue, but we don't realize it in that moment, but it is their issue. Hopefully you've realized that now that it's their issue. I think so. If, in response to, like, I'm asking what some of the not so great advice and that's your answer. So it sounds like you have understood that it's not appropriate.
Yes, in retrospect, I think that some people don't understand the difference between advice and criticism. And I think
Mm,
that some people think that they're giving advice, well meaning or not, but what they're actually giving is criticism. And as we all know, criticism comes from their issue, as you just said, not
yeah.
not mine.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, that's a shame, but hey, we all get negative, advice from people at times and it's often unwarranted. And you had a dose of it.